Mic check, mic check. Hello, hello. Good morning. Who we got in here today? Mr. B&B, hello. Good morning. Abiola, good morning. Andre, Edgar, Roy, Carolina, good morning. Ricardo, good morning. Simon, hello, hello. Just so we are all really aware, this is the watch list from yesterday, and this is me deleting it right now. So we are doing a fresh review this morning. I haven't looked at anything. So you're getting the really raw version. This is not a polished version, really raw version of us building out this watch list together. And the reason why I tell you that is so that you know it's, something natural coming straight from me. It's not something that's, just kind of, I'm not here feeding you BS. This is my whole technique for what, I want for preparing for the day. All right, I always like to start with the overall market, which is SPY. It's down, right? We can see that I'm on the 5-minute time frame. We can see here very clearly it's not quite a static line of support that's drawn across. It's not quite that because there is some degree of slope here. So it kind of looks more like that. But either way, if we were to just round this support, this is your support zone. For sure, this area right here is your support zone. And with SPY rejecting the all-time high, this was that larger sell-off here. With SPY rejecting the all-time high, and you've got 3 days now, 1, 2, and 3, of SPY testing this same area of support. My guess would be that we see a much stronger sell-off if that support is broken. So we are going to go short at $681 today for SPY. We are looking for the break of the support following the rejection of the all-time high on the daily chart time frame. Now, typically with a gap down day, I look towards the previous day's closing price to, in terms of like reference levels where I'm going to set a long level, but I don't like setting a level here because I see resistance right there. And I don't like setting a level there because I see resistance right here. And so I really wouldn't feel comfortable going long on SPY today unless it made a full recovery back up and then continued to move beyond that, which is $689. So the point of setting 689 is kind of mute. I don't actually expect, this would be a crazy move. It could happen, but I don't actually expect SPY to run all the way to 689, break it, and then continue to run today. Could it happen? Yes. I don't expect that to happen. I think maybe what's more likely to happen here is if this were to reverse and run like this, it stops short of 689, pulls back and retests that PDC, and then we'll adjust at that time. If that's the move that's given, we'll adjust at that time and make the decision on if we want to take this long off of that PDC. But like I said, I'm not really super keen on going long on SPY, honestly, until it gets back up to the all-time high. That's this whole zone right here we talked about, I think, yesterday or the day before. This is like a month and a half of consolidation. Well, not back that far, but right there. This is like a month and a half of consolidation on SPY on the daily. So until it breaks this zone or range, direction's truly not established, but it's very close to doing so this morning. So short below 681, long above 689. We rock with that and move on. Day trade watch list channel in the Discord server. Every night I will always post your focus list for you. Typically I try to get that out before 7 p.m. Eastern. So this is what we're going to reference when we are building out the watch list today. AMD, number 2 on the list. Yeah, what a sell-off, right? Look, I still got all my levels here. So let's just delete all of that, clean it all up. What a sell-off yesterday. This dropped much further than I originally thought it would, pulling back $14 from 214. Actually, Yeah, about 215. So 215 all the way down to 200. So now your whole number at 200, let's zoom in here. Your whole number, excuse me, at 200 is going to be a natural point of support, area of support. And look, this was validated yesterday by all of this consolidation at 200. That's where this trend line is drawn, at the $200 whole number. So what we're looking for, let's look at this on the daily. Check this out now. Just below 200 at 195, roughly, starts a gap to be filled all the way down to 170. From 190, you got a 20-point gap, a 25-point gap just below the current trade price of AMD. So while I know 200 is a point of support, potentially, I also know that this gap starts at 195. And so for that reason, I'm not going short at 200, but rather planning to go short at the start of this gap on the daily, which is indeed, it looks like it's actually 194.5. 194.5 if you want to get super, super technical with it. The other thing you can do is you just say, Gates, I just want to be as bearish on this as possible, and I can go short at 197. I actually don't mind that either. I don't mind that as a trade idea either, because what you would do in this instance, if you're going short off the pre-market low, is just look for, you would do a stop loss there at the PDC. So it would be something like this. That would probably be the move you're looking for. Or this breaks below and then hopefully stays below and you get your move down like that. But either way, I think your risk off point is going to be the PDC. So actually, as we're looking at this, originally I like this short at the start of the gap, but I think that we could probably take advantage of the move down from 197 to the start of that gap and then maybe through it. And I would still expect to see this type of increased volatility on AMD because, well, earnings is still fairly fresh, right? So we're going to go AMD short below 197. So we are going to be aggressive here. We're going to say aggressive short trigger set to capture the start of the move down inside of the gap on the daily time frame following the break of the 200 whole number. Now, could this reverse and run? Yes. Are we looking for that move today? No. No, we're not bullish on this at all. Nothing here is telling me to go long. Nothing here is saying that this is bullish. So the only way I trade AMD is if we get a lower low. If we don't get a lower low, then no trade. Apple, next one on the watch list. What a run yesterday. Long above 273, adjusted to the pre-market, pre-market high. We get the break of that early on. You do get a break of the downtrend trend line here, which I did mention in the live trading. I did mention this. So break of the downtrend trend line probably could have worked for a couple of moves up, but check this out. This is the most impressive thing about this. If I zoom out, this did pull back all the way to 273, right? And then look at this reversal candle. Boom, right there. And it's not a lot of volume, but it's enough to where you can see it's not average here. This volume reversal candle up off of that 273 point, and then this it kind of sucks because it consolidates, but it does move all the way back up to the high of day from here. I just thought that was pretty interesting. So Apple still very much respecting the 273 level from yesterday. I don't think that I'm going to place a short level on this. The stock looks really bullish to me, long above 278 or long above 279. The 278 level is fairly aggressive. If you need to see true confirmation or further confirmation, 279 works. But I like the long at 278 because all I need to look for is a 5-minute candle to close above and then the next one to hold. So this is just where I see the majority of the price action rejecting is at 278 versus 279. It's only been hit twice, right? So that tells me 278 is the stronger point of resistance. And since 278 is that stronger point of resistance, that's the level we're going to go with. Long above 278. Continuation watch from the recent run following the earnings report. As we move into like the latter part of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, my notes for these stocks, my comments rather, for these stocks gets a little more general because, well, we've already explained the Apple setup in so much detail so many times this week. I think everybody understands what we're looking for at this point. And if not, just look at the daily. Just look at the daily. So we're watching for this to continue. That's it, right? And we do not have to overcomplicate that. Hood, next one on the watch list. Wow. This thing just keeps selling. It just keeps selling every day. It's offering so much profit. I mean, look at this. I think it probably is tracking Bitcoin. Look, sell, gap down, sell, another sell, gap down. I mean, this thing is just so weak. W-E-A-K, weak. So we're looking for lower lows. Again, another one, we don't have to overcomplicate it. And, quite honestly, we don't even have to set a long level here either. Short below 76, looking for the break at the pre-market low. Easy analysis. Don't overcomplicate it. Hood below 7.6. SMCI. So I included SMCI on the focus list because yesterday it did make a move up. We were looking for the break at 33.5. You do get that. And this actually is quite a nice stutter step here. If you look, this is quite a nice stutter step, or once it breaks and pulls back, this could have worked. I know it's a very small move, but it's a cheap stock. So yeah, there was profit profit potential that could have been taken there. So back to the 5-minute time frame. I actually missed the move on SMCI yesterday, but where would we go long on this? Probably 35. If I would say I want a continuation out of this, 35, or if I move that down, 34.5. The problem is it's already, pulled back about 5% away from that current trade price. So I think we'll probably remove this. I'm just going to go SMCI over 34.5 for the time being. So the same exact trade plan as yesterday. But I'm going to put like a bunch of question marks right here because we may find something that looks better. I mean, we got a pretty big focus list, right? We may find something that looks better than SMCI, and if we do, it's going to replace it. I don't typically like having more than 8 stocks on the watch list because it gets to be too much to watch. All right, PLTR, yeah, I mean, this is just a post-earnings trade idea. So your earnings actually gapped up, and then it sold off into a flat open, into a really aggressive sell-off yesterday, followed by a gap down this morning. So this one kind of like Hood, right? It's just so weak that it would only make sense to look for a continuation breakdown lower. So short below 134. Continuation watch for further lower lows given the sell-off over the past 2 trading days. Good morning. Who we got in here now? Simon, JK, hello. AZ, Clean, Sonder, welcome in. We've had a really great week so far. The past 2 trading days has been amazing. I don't want anybody to ruin the momentum that you've had over the past couple of days, especially if you're a member of the Discord server. We've been killing it. Protect yourself. As we move into the end of the week, we talked a couple weeks ago about goal setting, goals. And your goal every day is to be green. Your goal every week is to be green. And your goal every month is to be green, right? That's your goal. So if you've achieved that goal, where you're green this week so far, we're talking about the shorter term goal here. If you've achieved your goal of being green this week so far, which a lot of you have, because I've been polling the Discord server as we go through this week, your new goal is to stay green. If you've made money this week, going into Thursday and Friday, your only job is to protect what you have. Of course, you'd like to add on to it if there's opportunity offered. But look, if you've made $2,000 in the past 2 trading days, do not put yourself in a situation to lose $2,000 today. You know, you can risk some of those profits, but you've really got to, capital preservation is like number one with trading, because it doesn't matter how much money you can make if you can't keep it. All right, MU, yeah, we've been looking for the reversal on MU. I knew when we saw this consolidation up here, I knew that our next leg was likely going to be down, because look at how extended this was. So now we've got a proper range breakdown on MU, a rejection of the all-time high. The stock is way extended, right? Definitely due for a pullback. So let's just look for lower lows. This is going to be a break below 360. And already I like this over SMCI. So we'll go MU below 360. Tesla. Okay, so Tesla's direction now, since the earnings report, Tesla started to consolidate, right? Now, with the breakdown yesterday, the direction is established. And look at where this finds support yesterday. Right at the $400 whole number. That is not by coincidence. These whole numbers, if you count by 50, these whole numbers act as natural points of support and resistance. So 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, and 400. It is not a coincidence that Tesla sold all the way off to 400 exactly before bouncing. That is not a coincidence. This is a whole number. This is a natural point of support. You need to make sure that you make a mental note of that moving forward. That's for every whole number. So it's breaking that support this morning in the pre-market, right? Look at this stutter, rejection, and then move down lower. So Tesla is easy, short below the pre-market low. That's going to be a break of 394 at this time. We may have to adjust that as this continues, if this continues to sell. So short below 394, and then I'll put / pre-market low. So we know, it's understood that we may have to adjust based on pre-market movement. Dang, is everything's selling, huh? The analysis, maybe I didn't even need to go live. The analysis today is really easy. It's just a break of the pre-market low on everything. I didn't realize so much had gapped down. All right, let's skip Meta and go to Walmart and just see if something is different here. Okay, this looks, so when we build out, this is really important, pay attention here. When we build out these watch lists, look, when I'm building this out, look, we got the short below, short below, short below, short below, short below, right? We know that I said this analysis is easy, everything. We're looking for lower lows, lower lows, lower lows. Well, what happens if we get a bullish day and all that we've analyzed for is lower lows, lower lows, lower lows? What happens? If everything reverses, we don't take a trade, right? Then we're stuck with no opportunity. So when we build out our watch list, when you build out your watch list, try to make it a point to include variation on your watch list. I'm giving you a gold mine right here. Try to have variation on your watch list. That means include a basket of stocks that look good to take short, sure, but also try to include a basket of stocks, a couple of names that look good to go long on. Apple, for example. Walmart here, for example, right? Because if we get a market that reverses or runs, you want to have something to take advantage of, and you want to have an opportunity to take advantage of to the top side. Now, don't force it. If there's nothing out there that's bullish, don't just put something on the watch list and say, yeah, this is the one name I picked to be bullish on. Don't do that. But if there's something out there that does look bullish, for example, Walmart running and running and running and at the all-time highs, that is bullish, right? Don't be afraid to put that on your watch list. So we do need to see a true all-time, why is this not letting me zoom in? There we go. We do need to see a true all-time high out of Walmart today for me to take a position on this. That is going to be a break of 129.4. Technically, I'm just going to make it easy, and we'll say long above 129.5. Right. Rounding up 9 cents, not going to make a big difference. Walmart, long above 129.50. and we're going to say on watch for new all-time highs. I mean, that's really all we need to put. Again, don't overcomplicate it. Google, next one on the watch list. This is messy. Oh, this is messy. Okay, so it is a gap down. So the direction is established here. This is messy at first. A big move down, big move up, another move up, big move down into consolidation, and then finally direction this morning established with this moving lower. So let's just reference this. So we're going to draw a trend line at 314. We'll delete this one. And let's reference where this is at on the daily. So 314 puts us just below the 50 EMA on the daily time frame. I'm looking to see, is there any sort of gap here maybe this could fill? What's the next major point of support? I would probably say 300. So this kind of reminds me now of AMD, where AMD yesterday gapped down to, what was it, 214, and then fell to 200. Now look at Google, right? Gapping down to 314. Could this fall now to 300? Probably. That's going to be our profit margin right there. So I like Google as a short below, not your after hours low, but the pre-market low here for the further move down. 300 going to be that price target just below. So Google short below 314. We could include a long level on this because it's not, it's not super far from that previous day's close. If this decided to run, it would just be a long above your previous day's closing, right up here at 334. But our main watch list is full. So does this look better than SMCI? Let's take a look over. I think so. I'd like SMCI for a continuation. It's just not at the breakout point. Walmart, for example, is trading up in the top right corner. It looks like it's ready to go. Apple, for example, top right corner, kind of looks like it's ready to go. SMCI, on the other hand, not so much. So I've set an alert there. I'm going to remove SMCI from the watch list, and we are going to replace that with Google below 314. So we're looking for the break of the, again, the pre-market low. And then Meta. Meta's another one that looks good. Do we include Meta? Do we include Meta? You know what? I think we've probably got enough. I think that we've probably got enough of these short belows, short belows, short belows. If you like Meta, here's the deal. It's a good setup. Meta would just be a continuation sell-off, just like the rest of these names. I'm going to leave it to you. If you like to trade Meta, it does make big moves. If you like to trade Meta, just replace one of these other ones on here. So let's say, for example, you don't like to trade AMD, but you do like to trade Meta, then replace AMD with Meta. This is still a good setup. I think that it's kind of like one of those days where it feels like if one of these names sells off, they're probably all going to sell off, right? I feel like if we get a big corrective, or not even a big corrective, if we just get a continuation move down, continuation correction on SPY, on the overall market, I feel like a lot of names are going to give us follow through down. So I don't know. It's neither here nor there with this watch list today. If you want to replace something with Meta, go for it. The watch list is just full, so I'm not going to go and put this on the list and make this too much to watch, because I don't want to overwhelm anybody. So let's rock with that. I do want to still roll through our list here and see maybe if there's anything out there that looks a little better than what we have, maybe something that I might have missed, even if I don't add it to the watch list, I just want to know. So for example, QCOM, right? QCOM is down. If I didn't see this previously, I would still want to know that this is down right now. That was Walmart. Walmart looks good. Walmart looks really good. It looks strong. NVIDIA is another one that you could look for lower lows on. We just have so many chip stocks on this watch list already that I think the other names present a better opportunity. If I had to go short on one of those names over anything else, it would probably be MU. Here we are on this chart actually right now. It would probably be MU because it was the most is the most extended on the daily, and I think MU is the one that offers us the biggest potential for a larger correction. So the profit margin down on MU, I think, is probably the greatest. Which one would I have the most confidence in selling on? Probably AMD, because, it just had earnings, right? AMD is down for a reason. And that earnings, there's almost always, when you have fundamental factors that affect stocks or affect the market, there is almost always an overreaction initially. But that overreaction, for example, AMD being down 16%, that overreaction can sometimes continue for multiple days. And so that's why I would have higher confidence in going short on AMD over anything else. But I think MU offers the most profit margin. As we're rolling through here, I know I'm clicking through pretty quick, but all that I'm looking at is the pre-market price action. Just looking for anything out of the ordinary. Most of this stuff looks pretty much the same with, looks like just this same formation of a slight gap down this morning to pull things pretty close to like the low of day from yesterday. You see that? So I'm seeing a lot of that same setup out there. Like here's another example, right? Just drop down to pretty close to the low of day from yesterday. That was Uber. I don't think we're going to replace anything, but I just want to look and see. Somebody said Siri, S-I-R-I. What about it? Somebody said Siri, S-I-R-I. Oh, post earnings. Sirius XM. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Looks like with the gap up this morning, it would be a break of the downtrend trend line, gapped up just under that 200 EMA, so you would just watch for a break of the pre-market high. Yeah, so probably a break of 23 would work here. And that would put you, let's go back to the daily. So a break of 23 puts you over, so it's already over the 200 EMA, but it would also be a break of the downtrend trend line. Somebody said Meta has a gap below. Does it? I thought it filled it. Yeah, it filled. So the gap on Meta was here, and that gap has already been filled. So now you do have another gap down here, but it's not, Meta's not trading close to that gap. That gap doesn't start till like 625. So this gap overhead is filled. Yeah. All right, let's roll through one more time our full list, make sure everything is accurate, and then we'll get this posted. SPY, first one on the list, short below 681, which is your pre-market low. Let's just add that here, short below 681 / pre-market low, just in case we have to adjust it, and long above 689. Cool, yeah, looks fine. Walmart, this is up there with my top stock pick. Long is going to be 129.5, the break of 129.5. AMD, break of 197.5. Oh, no, not 190, just 197. Just 197, not 197.5. Let me make sure I got my line right. So just the break of the pre-market low. Looks good. Apple, long idea above 278. Yep, that one looks good. PLTR, break of the pre-market low at 134. Let's make sure that line is accurate. Yep, looks good. We got four more. Hood is a continuation sell-off, probably just dropping with Bitcoin and crypto. Google, break at the pre-market low at 314. MU, break at the pre-market low at 360. And Tesla, break your pre-market low at 394. Yeah, so everything here looks good. It does really feel like with all of these setups, well, not all, but the majority of these setups looking really similar, especially these short-biased setups, it does feel like a day where, again, if one moves, they probably all move. If the overall market sells off, there's probably a good chance a lot of these drop at the same time. Try not to get overwhelmed by that. your job is not to catch every single trade that you possibly can. You're always going to miss something. So just get over that, right? Don't try to catch everything. But pick a couple of these names that you really like. You know, for example, maybe you like AMD, PLTR, and Hood. If you really like those three names, then just watch those three. Don't worry about anything else. And then trade them if you get the confirmation. Or if you're getting, you can still pick those three, AMD, PLTR, and Hood. But if you get a drop confirmation out of everything, right? Maybe everything's moving all at once. Just focus on the names that you have selected as your favorites. Don't let this overwhelm you. I include, the eight stocks like this because I want to have options and variation for us to trade. Maybe there's a chance only one of them breaks, right? And of course, that'll be the one that we focus on. But in the event that everything moves at once, try not to do this. Try not to do this because this is what causes a lot of people to miss trades. They'll be looking at Tesla and they're like, oh, Tesla's dropping. Oh, wait, Hood. Okay, Hood's dropping. Oh, Hood's dropping. Okay, oh, wait, let me look. MU's dropping. Okay, MU. And you're flipping back and forth between chart and chart and chart and chart. And if you're not just watching one, how are you able to really give it the attention that it deserves for your trades? How can you truly find the best entry and the best exit possible if you're constantly doing this, flipping through charts, trying to find something, looking at everything that's moving? Just focus on, hyper-focus. Once you find something that moves or is moving, hone in on it and forget about everything else. Less is more. Less is more with trading, my friends. You saw that yesterday. I made nearly $2,000 profit yesterday, and I only took 2 trades. So, less is more. All right, the watch list is posted for everybody. Thank you for your time this morning. We are trading live. The live trading is not held here on YouTube because there's a little delay I can't control. So we hold the live trading here on Discord. Here's how you're going to navigate there. If you're new, scroll down, bottom left-hand side of the server. You're going to see a voice channel called the Arena right here. You'll see people joining into the Arena, whole list of people. That is where we will conduct the live trading. So as I end this stream, join me in the Arena. I'll meet you there. Give me like 10 minutes, and I'll meet you over in the Arena. What else I got for you? Top stock pick of the day. I really don't have one. I think whatever moves is going to be my top pick of the day. So I like everything. I think there's a good chance. I think there's a good chance this whole watch list hits. So I don't have a pick of the day. It's just going to be whatever moves and whatever has the cleanest price action. And we'll identify that in the live trading. So I'll let you know exactly what it is that I'm looking at and when I intend to take a trade and when I do take a trade. I'll let you know all that in real time. All right. That's it. So I'm going to end the stream here. I'll see you over in the Discord server. Thank you for your time. Protect yourself today at all costs, especially if you are green on the week. All right. Enjoy your day. And I'll see you over in the Discord server. Cheers.